It's the Chris Miles Show, giving you a logical perspective, an intelligent point of view. The full 411. Live from LA, it's the Chris Miles Show with your host, Chris Miles.
Hey, what's going on, family? What's going on? Man, we are here live in clear-cut clarity. Back in the sack, man, on this beautiful Friday. Today is Friday, October the 21st. I am so, I'm just, how can I say this? I don't say disappointed, but I've been having some issue with my podcast distributors. Something is going on, and the show content, man, it's supposed to be in chronological order, from the first episode on up to this year's, should be actually episode 38. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sending emails out and shit. No one is responding back to me. So, but we're going to try to get through this as best as possible. So I apologize for any inconvenience to the listening audience out there. But we're here. God has given us another day on this side of the highway. So we are blessed. There's no complaints, not from the host of the Chris Miles Show, Chris Miles. A lot of stuff is going on. Watched the game last night, the Lakers versus the Clippers. I am a diehard Lakers fan, man. And, man, I truly hate this for LeBron. Russell Westbrook, man, I don't know what's going on. This guy his game has just diminished. It has fallen off, man. It's horrible. And all of the pieces that the Lakers have now, LeBron has around him are just really just it's sad. What's even more damning is that at one time the Lakers had Brandon Ingram, they had the ball kid, they had the components, they had everything that they actually needed, and they traded those young guys off to get Russell Westbrook and all of the guys that they have there now, and they're not cutting the mustard, man. So although I hate it for LeBron, LeBron has to take responsibility for, what they are looking like today. And what's really sad about it is during the time of COVID, they won a championship. They actually won a championship. So now they are looking just horrible at this point. So hopefully the Lakers will be able to figure this shit out, man, and get themselves back together. My podcast right now is producing by like the LA Lakers, man. I mean, we are actually out here in LA, and the podcast is doing the same shit the Lakers is doing, which is not winning. But we're gonna turn the ship around, people. So I ask you all to bear with me on this and all of the stuff that we have going on. A few things. Let me just go on and get this stuff out. Let me give out my social media handles. You can find me on TikTok at I'm Chris Miles. Once again, on TikTok, I'm Chris Miles. That's the little @ symbol, the A with the little circle around it. On Twitter, the same, at the @ symbol, I'm Chris Miles. Once again, the @ symbol, I am Chris Miles. YouTube is the Chris Miles Show. Or you can go to YouTube and type in my name, Chris Miles, or either the @ symbol, I am Chris Miles, and the information will come up. On Instagram and Facebook, it's I am Chris Miles. The @ symbol, I am Chris Miles. So if you are doing the social media thing, you can find us there on social media. Okay. Like I say, man, there's a lot of stuff that's actually going on out there in society today. And we're going to try to at least talk about some of these things going forward. Kanye West has been the topic of conversation. So we're going to get into that. He got this wicked witch on the right, Candance Owens. I think she's feeding a lot of the content to him that he's spewing. Also, we're going to be talking about George Floyd family members actually filing a lawsuit against Kanye West. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go into that. And we're also going to be talking about Russell Wilson. I tell you, man, all of these Russells are just shooting bad right now. Russell Westbrook can't goddamn make a basket, and Russell Wilson, man, game has just fallen off completely in the NFL, man. This guy, man, I tell you, man, I just, we're going to go into the shit with him, man. He's a joke to me. The black women love him because of something that he's actually done. But we're going to talk about that shit today on the Chris Miles Show. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the joke in Georgia. That's right, the joke in Georgia, that being that of this motherfucking ass Herschel Walker. Man, I tell you, man, boy, when you can tap dance and buck dance and scratch when you don't itch and laugh when ain't shit funny, boy, the establishment love your stupid ass. But we're going to talk about all that shit and more right here on the Chris Miles Show. Yes. So, let's get into it. So, here we are, pertaining to all of the stuff going forward. Kanye West. Kanye West, man, is not backing down from the establishment, man. He's like, fuck it, I'm moving forward. I am not backing. Now, I have absolutely nothing to apologize for. I'm not apologizing, and fuck you, and so on, et cetera, et cetera. So, if a lot of people might not know this guy, this actor by the name of Michael Rappaport. He's a Jewish guy out of New York. He's been in several movies. I think he played in a few movies with Ice Cube, and he's been at once upon a time he was doing a lot of films. You all can Google his name, Michael Rappaport, if you're not familiar with who I'm talking about. Well, anyway, he's been back and forth with that of Kanye West. I mean, he has been like literally consistently talking shit at Kanye West. Primarily for a lot of Kanye West's antics. Now, what's crazy about all of that is that Kanye West has come out and he said that, he feel like the Jewish community that controls the media has sent people like P. Diddy and various individuals at him. And he more than likely has a point because they run everything out here, including our minds. They run our minds out here. This shit is just, at the end of the day, it's crazy. They run everything that has anything to do with life. The Jewish community is behind it. That's right. So Michael Rappaport has been talking trash at Kanye for the fact that he's caught up on what Kanye West said about DEFCON 3. So he's been pushing this narrative about the DEFCON 3 thing, and they've been back and forth. I think Kanye called the other day and left a message on a voicemail. And so this guy by the name he's a social media giant, Tizit, I think that's what he calls himself, excuse me. Well, anyway, he had posted some shit on Instagram, and I follow him. So in the process of the stuff that he posted on Instagram, I watched the video and I read a lot of the content. So I came in defense of Kanye West. And, he wanted to paint him as, crazy and radical and all of this other stuff. So to the defense of Kanye, I came in and I broke down some things to Tizit, basically telling him, hey, listen, Kanye West is actually right about what he's been saying about blacks being the bloodline of Christ. Blacks are the real Jews. This is what they do not want anybody to know. The people that control society don't want you to know that you are the people of the Bible. And that becomes problematic because at the end of the day, it has been one of the reasons why you see the destructive process that you see going on within the black community today. Black people move around without a sense of nationality, without a sense of identity. And that is because we have been, for every decade, who we are changes, except who we are. Okay? And that is why all of this is so sad at this point, because we are the people of the Bible. Now, everybody that reads the Bible, and this is the misnomer here, because this is what people have to understand. People that read the Bible actually think that the Bible is what is called a universal book. The Bible is not a universal book. It is a book of the Hebrews. That's what it is. It is a book of the Hebrews. From start to finish, from Genesis to Revelations, it's about a certain specific group of people in the earth that Christ is coming back to save. This is what Kanye West is talking about. But Kanye West has also gotten some things wrong. He's right about that. Make absolutely no mistake about it. He's absolutely right about who we are in the earth. And he's also right about the establishment who actually controls business and corporations out here in society. It has been like that. And this is what they do not want you to know, people. All of this shit that goes on out here in society is about you. You are the bread, butter, steak, chicken, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You are that people. As the scriptures tells you in Matthew that you are the salt of the earth. Everything revolves around you. This is the fact of what people have to understand. This is what Kanye West is talking about. And what's crazy about it is I have been, for the betterment of 20 years plus, I have been pushing this information, this narrative. Why? Because I studied back in the day under ISUPK out of One West, out of New York, out of Harlem. So I'm fully aware of who we are, and we match all of the curses of what God said would befall the children of Israel. The people that runs the world do not. And they've accumulated and created wealth based upon the lie that they have propagated that has become truth because no one has challenged the lie. And this is the other thing that I have to talk about in its entirety. Why is it that we're told in America that we have freedom of speech? It's supposed to be a part of the First Amendment of the Constitution that we have freedom of speech, right? Well, if that's the case, why is it that Kanye can't say what the fuck he wants to say? To use the term DEFCON is not necessarily a threat on causing harm, bodily harm to a ethnic group of people. That's not what that is about. But they took it and turned it to that because they want to be victims. And black people who understand and know who they are have to be unapologetic about these things moving forward. And this is the thing, this is where I break ties with Kanye on this, on a lot of the stuff he's put out there. Now, due process is he's came out and said he's a Christian. Well, if you know that you are the Jew, the real Jew in the earth, you don't associate yourself with Christianity or with religions. You don't have to do that. Why? Because God gave you the law, statutes, commandment that dictates the earth. If you got $2 billion, like they say you do, like you say you do, then guess what? You can follow all the law, statutes, and commandments that God put out there. That means you can keep the Sabbath. You can keep the high holy days. Because you are not under the financial ruins like everybody else is. You have $2 billion. Most everybody out here cannot do the law, statutes, and commandment of God. Why they can't do it? They can't do it because they're working for the establishment. And the establishment is set up to sin and break all of God's law. And in the process of them doing that, that's how they make you sin against God. Working on the Sabbath. Selling you foods that you shouldn't eat. And putting the shit that you shouldn't eat in the foods that they say you can eat. That's supposed to be, as they call it, kosher. So the world is all fucked up at this point. So what people have to understand on this topic here, Michael Rappaport, the ADL, and all these other folks have come out here and they are trying to paint Kanye West as being crazy and delusional. I simply say this. Have the conversation with Kanye. Or have the conversation with black people. Why is this not something we can talk about? Black people can come out and claim that they're Buddhist, Muslim, atheist, all of these other things. But when you come out and tell the world that you are the people of the Bible, you are a Jew, guess what they do? Time to cut free speech. Now, they don't have a problem with you going out here saying you're an Israelite because they try to paint all Israelites as radicals and as fools, and you know what they're in a sense painting Kanye West to be. You understand? So they have perpetuated a narrative that doesn't hold water. That bucket there has a hole in it. But when you come out and tell the world that you are that person, that Jew, and that your ancestry goes back to the slavery in Egypt, or Mizraim, which was changed to Egypt, which is bondage. When you tell people that, or say that, they have an issue with it. Because the world has been laced with lies. That is the whole point of what this is. So Kanye West is upset and Angry like a lot of us are. Once we find out the truth of what the truth is, it makes you angry. It does. Because the world is in disarray, man, and everybody is living a fucking lie. That's what it is at the end of the day. And let me just say this. Because it needs to be said. I have reached out to Michael Rappaport and some of the other, even the people at the ADL, about having a conversation about who they are and who we are. Nobody wants to talk to me, man. They don't want to have that conversation because you know why? They know once the truth actually comes out, the lie that has been perpetuated, this false narrative, everything ends at that point in time. And it's doing that anyway because people are waking up to the lie that has been perpetuated and perpetrated as to be fact when it's fictional. That is what we're dealing with. And Kanye West has said that he will stay the course on this matter. He said he's not negating, he's not giving up, he's not doing any of that. He's going to hold fast to where he needs to be. I'm not mad at him. So if all the ones out there want to say crazy, you know what? I disagree with that. I think he's in his sound mind. And if he's crazy, it's probably because who he laid beside. Hey, it is what it shouldn't be. You understand? That's my point. That's my perspective on it. Now, let me just say this. As we did in the 10-10-22 show, we talked about that of Candace Owens. Candace Owens has been that evil, demonic beacon in his ear. She has been, not from the aspect of her telling him, hey, that you all, that blacks are, because that bitch could give a fuck about that. She don't care nothing about that. Everything with her is political. And she, for some reason, Candace Owens, who's the dick sucker of conservative talking points, has an agenda, and her agenda is against her people. And let me just say this. This is what people need to understand about this shit with Candace Owens. Candace Owens was supposed to be in Montgomery, Alabama back October the 6th. And yours truly, the Chris Miles show, prevented that from happening. Because back in March of last year, the last show that we did, we called over to Faulkner University. She was supposed to do a banquet, a benefit banquet at Faulkner University. And we called over there and confronted the people that were bringing her to Montgomery, Alabama. And I guess it spooked them. And we were not going to stop there because, you know, this is the whole thing what people have to understand about this shit. Is that everything out here in society is about finance. Fuck all that wearing out a pair of Chuck Taylors and marching and begging and pleading. Fuck all of that. That ain't about for shit. Everything out here in society is about the fucking money. It's about finance, people. And as sooner black people can wake up and realize that you have to attack the money versus going out here marching and begging and following that bullshit that Martin Luther King gave us, and his son, the third, and Al Sharpton and them have been continually going on with this bullshit. When you realize that, man, that shit holds no fucking value, holds no weight, no value, has nothing of intrinsic value to it, that's when the game changes. So what we did was we confronted Faulkner University down in Montgomery, Alabama, and we asked them, hey, you bring this bitch in? Listen, you know she was associated with the aspect of the Ahmaud Arbery case where she raised money for the men that killed Ahmaud Arbery. That's what this stinking ass bitch Candace Owens did, man. And Faulkner University in Montgomery, Alabama was going to bring this dick-sucking bitch to speak at their university. And we said, you know what? You do that, you're going to have problems. Because all of the black athletes that you all need for your baseball program, football program, and basketball program, we think they need to find them another school to go to. And that's how you affect change. It ain't about listening to all these old dumbass people out here. They're like, oh man, you got to get out here and you got to do this. And you got to, man, that shit doesn't work. If it worked, black people would not be in the fucking situation they're in today. They got it figured out, but you all do not. And this is what Kanye West is saying. This is what he's saying. And Candace Owens, who he has associated himself with, he needs to move the fuck away from her with the quickness. He need to make his way over to me or ISUPK or somebody like that and get fully educated, because politics doesn't work. Sucking Trump's dick does not change the narrative for black people. Same thing with Joe Biden. It doesn't change the narrative for black folks, man. And that's the thing. We've been doing the same fucking thing and getting the same fucking results, which makes us fools. Candace Owens knows this. But her agenda is who she lays beside. And for black people, it's destructive. And I'm going to say this because we're coming back to the same topic in a minute. Kanye West has to realize at the end of the day, he's right about black people being the blood of Christ. That's a fact. They know this. But he's wrong about a lot of other things. That being the politics. Politics can't save black people. And he should not be listening to Candace Owens, because that bitch, once again, has an agenda, and her agenda is against her people. And we're gonna do a show coming soon about the effective change that we brought to stopping her from speaking at Faulkner University. No other podcast made that happen, but we made it happen on the Chris Miles Show. And that's what we're about. We have a proven track record. And that's what we're about. So, moving right along, George Floyd's family, his brothers, daughter, cousins, are possibly pursuing a lawsuit against Kanye West. Primarily for the fact that Kanye West came out on Drink Tank, which is a podcast by that of Noriega, or Nor, whatever the hell he called himself, and said that what killed George Floyd was fentanyl, and Derek Chauvin didn't have his knee on the neck. Well, all of that has been debunked and has been disputed. And this is what we were talking about before we got on this topic here, that he got all of this bullshit from that stinking ass bitch Candace Owens. That's where that came from. So George Floyd's family filed a lawsuit, and they have hired. They've always had S. Lee Merritt, black attorney out of the state of Texas. Um, Hold on, trying to pull this up. But the thing is that Kanye West is the topic. They're targeting him. But what about Candance Owens? What about Charleston White? So the guy, or I said, drink, what is it? Drink thing. It's called Drink Champ. Excuse me. Noriega, Nor. I think he was a rapper out of New York. You know, Kanye West said all of these various things on his program. But the point is, what I'm saying is that Kanye West becomes the fall guy. He's the one that they are targeting right now. They want to sue Kanye West. But what about Candance Owens? Candance Owens came out and did a goddamn documentary on George Floyd about how despicable and horrible he was. That bitch ain't never apologized for anything. Who the fuck was behind that narrative? And this is the thing, man. Amanda Seals, the comedian, had posted some shit about not fucking with her friends. And I sent her in that very post, I sent her a message like, why the fuck you all have not came out and checked this bitch, Candance Owens? Why black women are silent when it pertains to Candance Owens? If you notice, all of the shit that's going on with Candance Owens today, it's no-name people like myself who's going at this bitch, man. But anybody that has some clout or weight behind their name, they don't say a fucking thing about Candance Owens. Nothing. It's disgusting, people. Everybody needs to make Candance Owens, that dick-sucking bitch on the right, is what I call her. They need to make her like Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah, nobody's hearing shit from him anymore now. It came out that Jesse Lee Peterson was a fucking residue chaser. He like a little doo-doo. And he's supposed to be a man of the cloth. Well, you know what? Candance Owens got some shit going on with her too. The old saying, what's done in the dark will come to the light. But what I'm puzzled about, I'm wondering, will Lee Merritt, who's the attorney for the Floyd family, go after Candance Owens? Will you go after Charles White? And if not, why not? They said a lot more disgusting and ridiculous things about George Floyd than Kanye West did. And from my understanding, Kanye West set up programs for He set up programs for He set up programs for George Floyd's daughter. So why? My dog is in the studio with me. So the point is, I asked the question, why? Are they targeting Kanye West in the way that they are? Why? Why?